Baltimore is more than crabs in the wire, and I'm here to share the real stories of the real, true talented people in the city who don't get the recognition that they deserve. Please sit back, relax, subscribe, and watch how we make the whole world want to be more like us. Welcome back to another week. I told y'all we're going to be consistent, right? We're not going to do the 3-year hiatus thing again, all right? But making sure that you like, click, and subscribe, and kick the notification bell. Remember, kick it. Got to kick it, right? Kick it with you, click it, right? Now, week 2 on this new series, all right, even though this is video number 5 on the interview tip, I'm super, uber excited. Look, I'm even getting tongue-tied because I'm so excited that I have another good brother of mine. So last week, we did Shell from Next One Up, Chief Programming Officer. It was a super dope interview. If you happen to miss it, click right here and go back to last week and check that video out. Crazy dope video, the way to kick off the season. But now we're moving on to week number 2, like I said, video number 5. And I have another, so happen to be African-American business owner, right, who specializes in paintless dent repair. Do y'all even know what paintless dent repair is? I know I didn't, so don't let me sit up here and sound like I'm highly and wildly educated when it comes to paintless dent repair. Typically, I'm used to you get hit in the car, you take it to a body shop, and they do all this stuff, and then they paint it, and then blend it, and hopefully it looks like what it used to look like. But this brother is a gift from God, amongst other things, and I think it's way overdue that we roll right into meeting this guy, and that guy is Mr. Stephen Green himself. Unfortunately, he went to City High School, and I went to Poly, but it's okay, because we grown for now, unless the Poly City game is here, and that's how we gonna do. So Steve, tell us, who are you, and where are you from?
Well, born and raised in Baltimore, born in East Baltimore,
Okay.
Dutch Village,
Okay.
raised in West Baltimore, Franklintown Road, right off of Poplar Grove.
Okay.
So I'm a Baltimore native through and through.
So being well-versed, having lived on the east side of Baltimore, the west side of Baltimore, and pretty sure it always hasn't been flowers and sunshine, in the city, what would you say to yourself, no matter what the experience is, what age you were, no type of rules or regulations on this, what was your toughest time in life, and how did you overcome it?
I've experienced adversity in many forms, whether it be growing up in those sides of town, seeing adversity in my immediate neighborhoods, seeing the poverty, seeing the crime, seeing it even touch my immediate residence with people shooting up under my back steps. So I've seen the worst of Baltimore, but also came from a loving, caring family with a mother and a father. And seeing how even though you live in that environment, you can still see yourself thrive because you came from a household that taught you what a loving, caring relationship looks like. So I would say that I'm kind of well versed on adversity and having positive influence in the home. So my story isn't typical when it comes to the horror stories you've heard.
Right.
But I'm grateful for how God positioned me growing up through 3 years in Baltimore.
So I wasn't raised by my parents, so I didn't have that household reaction. Now I did grow up in a loving environment. Still to this day, I'm blessed with my grandmother, Miss Barbara, and then my aunt who raised me. So I was raised by strong black women, and of course I had my step grandfather there because I never met my grandfather. He died 2 years before I was born due to cancer. But I had love. I grew up in love as well, and I think that contributes to where I'm at right now. But just if you could just find one time in your adulthood that something was adverse, and it was so adverse that it changed you as a person, what was that, and how did you overcome it?
Well, there are many. I'd say one of the most impactful times in my life has been more recently, actually. I know we've talked about some things personally.
Yes, we have.
And I even planned on talking about one particular thing, but over the last 2 years, it's been more of a personal triumph. Really learning how to love my wife, and be there for my family more effectively. Growing as a man personally, and then collectively in my family, seeing how that change individually has led to a more prosperous and healthy situation with my wife and my children. And that does come with some sacrifices as it pertains to business, where you're not completely enthralled in everything it takes to do that while still maintaining a quality product and service, but finding that balance in between what it takes to be what my wife and my family needs as well as what the business
You
needs.
know what? And I think that's so important. And this is exactly what I want to do this for, because it's easy to talk about business. It's hard to talk about the struggles when it
Yeah.
comes to business. And struggles don't always have to do with finances.
Mm-hmm.
Struggles deal with mental, physical,
Absolutely.
and in the black culture, we're really not taught. We're really not taught to love our women.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. We're taught to make money, stay out of jail, stay out of trouble, and try to get a job.
Yeah.
And women are often looked at as prizes, or tools or toys, and at the end of the day, they're beautiful creations given to us by God, and they should be coveted, they should be respected.
Absolutely.
And it's just powerful to hear you say, like, hey, I spent the last 2 years of my life developing and growing as a man to be better to a woman. And I think that's a message that needs to
Yeah.
continue to hit home.
And like I said, it started with me. You know what I mean? Because I knew if I wasn't where I needed to be, then being that man for my wife would be irrelevant. You know what I mean? I was on the brink of losing everything I cared about because I needed to make changes individually. So I really took that personally.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there were some things I had to simultaneously deal with home, I really took the task of focusing on myself and really analyzing some things really personally, and it paid dividends.
Mm.
Yeah.
So now, man, that was deep. I had to take a I had to let that all sink in, man, because me as a man, I'm growing myself, and I realize a lot of stuff about myself I don't like, and I got 2 daughters. So, man, that definitely just really hit home with me, and things I need to change in my personal life to do right by the person I care about, the person I love. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Most
But now let's get to business, because we're here to talk about your business as well. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that, but I'll take it. Let me get back focused. PDR. Oh, you own Paintless Dent Doctor. How did you come up with that concept? How long you been doing it, and exactly, what all the details with it? Where's the office? What do you do?
Okay. Well, business started in 2005, so that was the creation of Paintless Dent Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Started in the industry by doing an apprenticeship with my brother, my older brother. So he introduced me to the trade, kind of laid the foundation. Started my business in '05, and then did a stint with a large automotive, not manufacturer, but seller.
Okay, great.
They'll remain nameless.
Got you.
Getting a plug today. But,
Gotcha.
worked there for a couple years and was fired.
Mm.
So that prompted me to really take starting my business more seriously. And that was on the heels of having my first child, my daughter Naya. So,
Children change
um,
things.
you know what I
It's a
mean? Kind
theme.
of forged in a fire, so to speak. So started my company, really took building the company more seriously at that point because I actually owned it before working for that.
Nameless dealer.
Exactly, exactly. But in '05 is really where I took the time to really build and start learning things about marketing that I needed to learn in order to get the ball rolling. Started building a reputation with the company in the city and really beyond the city limits. I've gone as far as PA, DC, Virginia, working in a mobile capacity, building the brand. And now I'm in a shop in Essex where we're stationary and we've expanded upon just the paintless process. The paintless process is really designed for minor or moderate dents and dings, creases, hail damage, and we actually make those repairs without disturbing your factory finish.
Mm.
So it's really advantageous for your high-end car owners, luxury, exotic owners, but we do all makes and models.
That's
So if
dope.
you can preserve your factory finish, you retain resale value
Correct.
as well as the
Paint
appearance.
the sample, all that stuff.
Exactly. So
Gotcha.
there's no depreciation as it pertains to the process we do.
Wow. Whew. Are you? I don't recall another African American owned paintless. Where's the closest that you are aware of, if any at all, African American paintless dent repair companies?
There's another in Virginia that
So
I know
so
of.
so not in Maryland
Not in Maryland,
that
not to
you
my
know of.
knowledge.
Wow.
There's one in Virginia, good guy that I know
Okay,
that's doing some awesome things
that's
down
what's
there.
up.
But we are certainly a minority in
That's what I'm
this
talking
industry.
about. That's what I'm talking about.
And I take that piece seriously as well. Because the alternatives don't look like me. And most of my clients are 90%, maybe 95% Caucasian, Asian. So they don't look like me either. So I really take it seriously that when you come into my place of business, you get a professional, polished experience from start to finish. And that's really laid the groundwork for, the way Baltimore and our clients see us. And, I really, like I said, I take that seriously. It's something that I've seen pay dividends as we do our business in the city.
Happy 16 years in business.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Yeah. So, you sold Baltimore. Better Mall Diamond or East Point?
My dog, man.
Ha! You admit you like West Baltimore better.
I told you I spent time.
I know, man. I just wanted to hear because I'm from West. I just set you up, man. I just set you up. Everybody know about Mondawmin Mall. Shout out to Mondawmin Mall, man. Definitely shout out to Mondawmin Mall. I did a lot of business at Mondawmin Mall. You know what, man? Being a humanitarian has become a bigger drive to me than being a successful entrepreneur. And it wasn't always like that. I always wanted to sell out and want everybody to respect me and wanted my parents to see my hard work. And then over the last 10 years, I really transitioned into more of a community person. And, even though I only met you about 4 years ago, I've definitely seen you out in the community. Could you just elaborate a little bit? Like, what do you do in the community? Because it's easy to have a business, but what are you doing in your own way organically to change the landscape of the city?
Well, the first thing I really take pride in doing is supporting initiatives that are already thriving.
Yes, you do.
Work. So a lot of that is silent. You're not going to see me, you're not going to hear. But that's something that I take pride in doing. Your face doesn't always need to be in the forefront. Sometimes you just need to identify what's working and support it. So that's the first thing I really take pride in doing. Second, I'm co-founder of a initiative called Cars with Care.
Okay.
We're actually going into our 5th year. And what we do is it's a collective of brothers that I respect. And we get together. All of us have somewhat automotive backgrounds. All of us don't, but still a passion for the initiative. We get together every year. At the start of November, we purchase a vehicle, we recondition it, and we give it to a family in need free and clear. So like I said, this will be our 5th year doing it, and it's something that I take extremely serious. You're a part of the process, so you know how we go about our business. From start to finish, just making sure it's truly a labor of love by the time we give it away live on Christmas Day. So that's something I'm real proud of.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. Whitney Houston said, I believe the children are our future. Show them the way and let them lead. What would you tell the youth of Baltimore right now? Having survived everything you did, not necessarily having the roughest of times as a child per se, but still seeing some things that we other people in the world would deem unimaginable. What do you say to encourage kids living in Baltimore?
The first thing I know is that there's a ton of talent and a ton of untapped potential in Baltimore as it pertains to our youth, especially today. But one thing that I'm big on in business and personally is that we take ourselves seriously in everything that we do, and that we take being a professional in everything that we do seriously. And a lot of times that takes someone like you or me kind of taking the time to groom and be an example. But I feel that if we take that job seriously as men and as members of the community, that they'll have the example they need to be successful in life.
I agree. Now, Baltimore, people love to make it seem like it's this rat hole, especially the political war was really disgusting. The boarded up houses and the rats and the campaigning. Where do you see our city in 5 years? Brandon Scott's now the mayor. Looks like he's doing an incredible job thus far in the very short window of time that he's, been in here. But what do you see Baltimore being, like I said, in the next 5 years, based off of everything that you've seen and then the stuff that you're seeing lay in front of you?
Well, I see it from a lens of being around good brothers and seeing the work that they're doing constantly in the community. So in 5 years, I see us just being better than what we are today. I don't know what capacity that's going to be. None of us can, predict the future, so to speak. But because of the work that I see, brothers like you and Mike and other guys we have in our network doing the work every day in the community, then I have faith that what our today is won't be our tomorrow. So I believe in us. I believe in what we're capable of. I know that the challenges we face today, while they may be daunting, are not insurmountable because of people, because of the heart and the minds and the spirit and the tenacity of the people in the city.
So
So
do
I
you,
have hope for Baltimore.
so do you see yourself being here in 5 years?
I will most certainly be here. Most certainly. I have no plans to leave, no desire to leave. This is where my heart is.
Mm-hmm.
This is where my business is. This is where my family is. And this is where my community work is. So I take
Mm-hmm.
pride in that.
So with saying that, even though I don't want this to end, man, because I love conversation. Conversation is such a lost language, a misunderstood language. In this day's world of technology, cell phones, and pride and ego. Who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to conclude this? Say anybody out there that you want to dedicate, and say thank you to while you have the world watching.
Um, Thank you to my family, my wife, my daughters. Thankful to them for allowing me the opportunity to be their husband, father, and allowing me to function in my space in a business capacity and also with the community work. So I know that time with them is valuable. So them allowing me that space to function outside of the home is something that I'm appreciative for.
Hey man, you heard another exclusive right here. Steven, I thank you for coming out today. Be more like us 410 TV. Make sure you like, click and subscribe. Not every episode is going to be all laughing, laughing, laughing. Some stuff is serious. This channel is all about showing people the real side of entrepreneurship, and that means personal too. So you never know who's going to be on here, what we're going to talk about, but you can definitely keep up to date if you kick that notification button down the bottom right, and be sure to follow Be More Soulful Kicks online to make sure, or at Instagram, Be More Soulful Kicks. And what we're going to do is we're still going to keep on blessing families in need with free shoes and clothing to the best of our ability. So if you know a family or you are a family, it's very discreet. Email us at the information below. Follow us on Instagram at Mr. Beezy Forever, CEO Be Easy. And hey, man, if you got a dope story yourself and you're out here doing God's work or doing community work, whatever you believe in, Allah's work, we're here for you, man. This channel is dedicated to the positive in the city, and we can't do it without you. And make sure you keep fighting in that comment battle. Best comment wins a free item every single week. Are you going to get the new drip, or you going to let somebody else get the new drip? See you next week, Thursday, 12 o'clock.